Hi, I'm Chef Frank and this is Proto Cooks, and today we're going to make Char Siu pork. Char Siu pork is a Chinese roast pork dish that you'll see in Chinese food restaurants. You'll see it's mixed into fried rice, and it's just kind of one of these nice versatile pork dishes that you can get at Chinese food places. And it's something that I've made before, but I'm not great with Chinese food. It's something that, even though I've been cooking for a long time, I'm still exploring my skills and my techniques with. So let me talk about the ingredients and then we'll prep it up. So here are my ingredients for Char Siu pork. Soy sauce. I have some spices here, some star anise that has kind of a licorice flavor, some cinnamon. So this is about 3 or 4 star anise and 1 small cinnamon stick. I have about a cup and a half of soy sauce. So hoisin sauce, which is about 1/4 cup. Some sherry wine. This is a great substitute for Chinese rice wine. If you don't have sherry, try and find rice wine. Sugar, garlic, honey. I have a ziplock to marinate it in and a big piece of nice fatty pork shoulder. One thing that people do use sometimes in this is some red food dye to give this a red color. Char Siu sometimes when you buy it is red. That's usually due to a red fermented bean paste or some sort of kind of miso paste. I don't have that, and I'm not going to use the red food coloring. I don't think I need to use it. I think that if I treat this right with good technique, that I'll get a really good glaze on this. So I'm going to skip the red food coloring. Let's cut the pork. So here I have a really nice piece of pork butt. It has the skin on. I'm going to take the skin off. I have my Ziploc bag, and what I'm going to do with the Ziploc is open it up and fold the lip over so that when I close it, I don't get pork on the lip. So now I have a bag opened up onto the side. I have a boning knife, which is a thin, stiff knife. Just run it over my steel really quick. Okay? And I'm going to take the skin off. I'm going to try and leave as much fat on as possible. And I'm just going to cut the skin off. So if I hold this up, I can peel the skin away. I save the skin. I'm going to use the skin in a ramen stock, or I can make chicharrones out of it, which is just crispy pork skin. I'll probably put this into a ramen stock and just freeze it and put it to the side. I'm going to leave all the fat on for this. I want this to be nice and fatty, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into kind of like flat pieces that I'm going to roast with the fat on top. Okay? Cut this in half because I really want the marinade to penetrate. So the more surface area there is, the more the marinade penetrates. Okay, so I have some nice sticks, kind of like big sticks of pork butt, and they're going to go in the bag. Cool, and now we're going to do the marinade. So all I really have to do now for the marinade is dump everything into the bag with the pork. There's a little bit of prep I have to do. I'm going to chop the garlic first, and I'm going to go kind of fine with the garlic. Just give it a little smack to get the skin off. And then chop it fairly small. I have about 3 cloves of garlic. I like a little more garlic than probably someone who's Chinese would put in. I try and stay as authentic as I can and true to the dish as I can, but I do like a little more garlic. Okay, this goes right in the bag. You can put this into a dish or a Pyrex dish or something you'd bake brownies in. But I just like to use the bag. So let me put this over here right now. I'm going to put my sugar in now. And then I'm going to put the sherry wine, because I want to kind of dissolve that sugar. The spices. My soy sauce. This is full sodium soy sauce. I usually like to use low sodium, but I'm not going to put any salt in this. So I'm going to stick with the regular soy sauce. Hoisin sauce. Always have a spatula when you have thick stuff like this. And then honey. And I have I have a fair amount of honey. In Chinese cooking, they'll use maltose syrup or honey. Maltose syrup's a little stickier than this. It doesn't have as strong a flavor as honey. It's a little lighter flavored, but I have honey in the house, so I'm going to use honey. We're also going to use this marinade. We're not going to throw it away. We're going to use this marinade after it, actually while it cooks, not after it cooks, while it cooks to baste the meat. And we're gonna cook this meat at a fairly high temperature. What I need to do now is I'm gonna leave a little bit of an air hole, and then I'm gonna just leave a little smaller. I'm gonna massage this so that I get into every nook and cranny, and that, well, I should have closed it because I got it all over. Get into every nook and cranny, make sure that my marinade is getting mixed up, my sugar is dissolving. Okay, make sure that each piece of meat is getting coated with this. And this is the reason I use the Ziploc bag. Because you can crack a little hole, get all of the air out. You see how the juice kind of comes up to the top? And then you close it off. And then your meat kind of stays nice and submerged. So I got everything in the bag. It's nice and coated. Everything seems mixed really well. Throw this in the fridge for at least 2 hours. And then I'll show you how to roast. Time to cook the Char Siu pork. Take it out of the marinade. Just shake it off a little. Make sure there's nothing sticking to it. I cook it on a rack. Okay. So air can circulate. And my oven's on fairly high. I have my oven on about 400 degrees. I want to jumpstart the caramelization on this, okay? This, I want to be nice and brown and caramelized on the outside. So I'm going to put it on the rack and throw it in a really hot oven. It's going to be cooked all the way through, no medium rare here. Give it a shake. Okay, let me move this up a little so we have a little space for this last piece. I'm going to take my marinade and I'm going to put it in this bowl because we're not going to let that go to waste. We're going to use this to baste. We'll probably cook it for about 35-40 minutes. I got a brush. We're going to use that to baste. And I'm also going to put a little water in the bottom of my pan because I don't want the juices burning. So the water's just going to be there to make sure that my juices don't burn. So I'm going to throw this in the oven. I'm going to baste it a little, and then we'll come back when it's ready to go. So we're going to baste the pork now. I'm going to pull it out. Look at that. It's already getting some great color. It's not stuck to the bottom. Actually, a little is getting stuck to the bottom, so I'm just getting a little more water. I'm going to baste the front. I just warmed this up a little. I'm going to give it a basting. Right? Give it a nice kind of dousing of the sauce or the marinade. Okay, give it a turn. Turn it around. And again, that bottom part, I don't want to brown. Give this a little basting. Get it on there. Okay. Back in the oven. Char Siu pork is done. Look at it. It's glistening. It's got some like caramelized bits. It's beautiful. I'm going to take this, put it to the side. I'm going to slice a little bit. One thing that I did here too is I took the marinade and I put it on the stove for a little while until it made a glaze. I might not use all this today, but if tomorrow I want to chop this up and make pork buns, I'm going to roll it or toss it in this marinade, okay? So let's get a piece onto my board. Got a nice kind of glaze to it. Let's give it a slice. Look at that. Nice and juicy. Cooked it for about 45 minutes on fairly high heat, just so that I got all those beautiful, beautiful, like caramelized notes. But look at how beautiful that is. Wow. I'm going to take a little bit of this glaze, just a little, and dab it on there. Look at that. I'm going to give it a taste. Let me see. Look at that. It's got some nice fat to it. Oh, man. I'm Chef Frank. This is Proto Cooks, and this is my Char Siu pork. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, see you soon.